Hey guys, Brandon Olson here. We got another episode of RankDaddy TV. Here's a cool guy. Today we're going to do something a little different. I've never let this go to the public. This is something that we do for our RankDaddy members. We have regular Zoom trainings. So we set up a live conference, a live Zoom, let you get on if you're a member, ask questions in real time, and we can cover topics. Maybe you're having issues covering an issue in your SEO agency, or maybe in your prospecting. Whatever it is, it's wide open. It's question and answer, and there's also some things that we kind of see, maybe regular topics being discussed in the Facebook group, so we'll address those. So everybody's on the same page, everybody's successful, everybody's able to scale and continue to grow their SEO agency. So I'm going to let you guys in. We just recorded one, and it is live now in the Facebook group, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on YouTube and stream it into this podcast video, so you can actually see a little bit more about what you get when you join RankDaddy Pro. There's so much value, it's insane. So when you join RankDaddy, you can come in for $1. You get more value for that $1 than you'll ever get on any other training platform you've ever bought in your life. I guarantee it. 30 days later, your $199 membership fee starts. If you haven't landed a client in 45 days following the process of at least $500 or $1,000 a month, I will refund the first $199 payment. So we literally give and give and give. We give you complete access to everything for $1, so you can test it and see if it's even going to work for you before you decide to even start paying or continue with the course. So it's not like you're dropping $4 or $5 grand on a high-ticket course, which is what this is, without seeing inside first. So we're flipping the script on the digital marketing training space. You're in for $1. We want you to land deals. We're going to teach you and take you step by step by the hand how to land clients. Use the client money to pay your $199 fee for RankDaddy to have ongoing education, support, and stop whenever you want. Go into your dashboard, hit cancel whenever you want to bounce out, and you're done. So let's get started. Let's take a look at what we covered on today's Zoom training. Let's go.
So here's the question. How can marketers like us, working only part-time and running our entire business from our laptop or smartphone, how are we able to guarantee insane results to our clients when the mainstream internet marketing gurus say the guarantees are impossible? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brandon Olson, and welcome to RankDaddy.
We'll have some more join, but we'll go ahead and get started. Been a lot of new members coming in, a lot of kind of common questions that we're seeing, so we'll address some of those tonight. What's one of the first things you can do, and everybody's muted right now, but when you comment, you can just unmute yourself, so that way we don't have a lot of background noise. So say you come across an issue. It can be prospecting, it can be whatever, part of the SEO process. What's one of the first things you can do within the Facebook group to find the answer before you've even asked it, typed in it as a post? Anybody? Somebody's on the chat. Use the search function. Very good. Yeah. So use that search bar, whether you're on mobile, whether you're on desktop. If you want to find out all the different posts that people have mentioned or we've talked about client landing and prospecting, put prospecting in there, and you'll get a wealth of information. This group's been open for over a year now, so there has been a lot of deep discussions on practically every topic that's covered in the training. Sometimes the search feature doesn't work all that great. Like I'm trying to find posts that I made, months back, trying to remember different words that were in there. Sometimes it doesn't work. So it's not the solve all problems, but if you've posted a question maybe and you haven't got the answer yet, start digging. Don't wait for the answer to come to you. Always, use Google or use the search bar in the group to see what others have put about it. Second thing, contest. The contest for March is going really good. There's actually a pretty close tie for the number of spots. So it's like it's not like performance based. So literally the newest guy coming in can win. It's not based on, okay, Ed's going to take everything because he's landing 6 deals a week. We're going to give away $100 to 10 different people and $1,000 to one person. Every time you place an order on SEO Outsource or Localize, we're tallying it. So it can be press release, it can be citations, whatever. If you order a 10-pack or 5-pack of PBNs, you get the 10 entries or 5 entries. So we're manually putting them all in a spreadsheet, and at the end, we're actually going to print them out, put them on paper, cut them up, and use like a fishbowl or something. We'll probably do it live here on a Zoom or on a Facebook Live in the group, and announce it ahead of time so we can randomly draw the winners out of that. So we've never done anything like that before. It's always been like performance-based, but it's almost unfair to some of the new people coming in to do it like that all the time, because you got all these leaders who've been in here since the beginning that would just dominate everything, right? So this is kind of a fair way to do it all. What else? What else? So another topic that has come up quite a bit. You're coming into the training. It seems like there's so much to learn, right? You've got WordPress, you've got content, you've got how to build Web 2.0 sites, you've got on-page SEO, which is daunting all by itself. And I'm going to open this up to you guys. What do you think? I mean, what do you want to master? What do you want to learn? What is necessary to learn on all these things that are covered in the training? Anybody got any ideas?
Hey, Brandon, I'll step in real quick.
Yeah.
A couple things for me. I was on the last Zoom call as well, just to help me get more clarity. Just some of the basic, simple steps, like just setting up setting up a payment plan, to receive a payment. That's following that step right there. And
that's a good one.
Maybe also like for me, my situation, my challenge is follow-up, because I work so much. I really only have 2 days, like Monday and Tuesday, that I can actually do this business. But during the week, I have to, I get up at 5 and I don't get home till about 7 o'clock at night. So as far as follow-up, like teaching, like maybe an email or something, I'm not good at writing, but maybe some basic way to do follow-up through email. Something like that, simple like that. Here's the subject line, and then here's kind of some basic 2 or 3 sentences that you can send this day, and then 2 days out, and 3 days after that as a follow-up. That would be, I think, would be really helpful, at least for me anyway.
That's good. So as far as the process goes, you land a client, you immediately obviously have to do on-page SEO first. Do you have to be a master at SEO and on-page before you can get past that step? The answer is no. A lot of people are coming in, and the things that you touched on were critical. You obviously have to know how to set up a credit card processor, whether it's through Square or however you're going to take payment. And you should do that before you even start prospecting. So many are out there like, oh, I got a guy that says yes, what do I do now? Well, send him an invoice. How? Oh, yeah, rewind. You should already have done that. You got to have a processor if you're going to actually want to take money from people. So that's something you have to do. It can't be outsourced. And that's kind of what I'm hinting at. All these steps in the training, you do not have to be a master at. You don't even have to know it. You have to know the steps in order to educate a person on the SEO process and what's going to happen and so that they know what to expect. But you do not need to know how to do the on-page SEO yourself. You do not need to know how to build WordPress sites. A little bit of editing and things like that, that's great knowledge to know, and that's about my limit. I don't know anything other than the basic stuff that the tools show for on-page SEO, like finding their title and their H1. Yeah, I can go into WordPress and edit those things, but I've never opened Screaming Frog ever. All these tools I've never touched. And here I am with a massive SEO agency and teaching hundreds of people how to do the same thing successfully. How is that possible if I don't even know how to do it? Because I've got steps in place that I know work, that we have quality control over, that you don't have to rely on learning everything and become a master at everything to move forward. So many are coming in and they're saying, okay, this is overwhelming. I got to learn WordPress. I got to do all this. And you don't. You've missed probably one of the very first videos on, and maybe we need to mention it more as through the course. I know Kevin did it in the SEO or the on page. Look, if this is overwhelming, you do not have to know it. Just know that step 1 is on page. Just know that step 2 is, when the on page comes back is press release and so forth. As long as you know the order of what has to happen when you land a client, you're golden. So we know that when we land a client on day 1, like when we get their money, okay, money hits our processor, hits our bank. We can now order on page. We can order citations. We can order Web 2.0 to start. We can't order press release until the on page comes back. We can't order social signals until the press release comes back, because it has to create a natural flow, right? The on page is there so that it communicates with Google. They know what the page is for, what it's about, what it wants to rank for. The press release, once that is done, starts that foundation for trust. 500 or so media links, all with massive trust, coming to the site. Once that's done, you run your social signals, which creates the viral activity of all that news that was just put out. Google sees all these steps and they see how they're happening in the natural order. That's why the course is there and laid out in this order, because it creates a natural scenario of what would actually happen in real world to a business who actually ran a press release, who actually did these things. Naturally builds trust. The Web 2.0 are there, and they're just consistent until you get the guy glued to the top for multiple positions. Then you can back off on your Web 2.0, because that's your link diversity, your link consistency, because they're coming in 5 days a week or however often you have your VA build them. They're coming from trusted trust. They're coming from do follow links. They're coming from no follow links. They're coming from, some of the platforms have a little trust, some have no trust, some have a lot of trust. But that's the diversity. So Google doesn't want to see all home run links. People come into this and they're like, breeze through the course, and they're like, okay, I'm going to start building PBNs, and I'm going to shoot 10 to this client, and that's a massive amount of trust. Yes, it is, but what else is it? It's a massive flag. It wouldn't be natural for a landscaper in whatever city, Plano, Texas, to suddenly have 10 massive PBN powered links that looks like they're worth 1,000 regular links all at once. So figure out what you want to learn and what you want to do. Some people like the SEO, their on-page SEO. They like the technical stuff. Some people like the content writing. I just got to the point where I like to land clients. So that's why all the outsourcing stuff is there on all the other steps. People are also asking, can we outsource the prospecting part? And guys, I've tried and tried and tried. I've spent thousands of dollars on all these other job type of platforms trying to bring in recruiters, 50% commission, 100% commission on month 1. I mean, salespeople are salespeople. Yeah, they want to be paid good and be able to then take a break for a few months and the money still keeps coming in. I've tried residual. I've tried everything. And so have a lot of the heavy players here in the group. We haven't found anything that works. This is something that you got to learn how to do, because it almost is like you need the dialogue. When you send out prospecting videos, not every reply is the same. I'm sure you've noticed that. You're going to get a lot of the same common questions, but you need the dialogue to bounce off so you know what to reply with. And pretty soon it's going to come natural. You're going to know what to say, when to say it, and then follow through with with another leading question just to get to that point. Your yes is your destination. You've got to go through no's to get there, right? So don't take no as personal, or no as the end. Go to somebody else. No means I don't know all the information. I don't know you know, how does it really work? How can I trust you? There's so many things that no could mean. Keep digging, stay persistent. Micro steps, another topic that I wanted to cover. We've kind of touched on it in the group. When you're sending a screencast and you shot your video, you've done through Google, or maybe you saw the signs on somebody's truck, you've got a prospect. You build a screencast based on module 9, copy that model, send it out. I would recommend using your personal email address, and I've tested both ways, and I'm getting 90% or more open rate sending from a personal email using a simple subject line, roof repair. Don't make it like a lot of these new guys are coming in, they think they know, they're like spitting all this crazy like guaranteed SEO stuff, tactics, white hat, we know what we're doing. No, they don't care about that. That's an instant delete for business owners. I've had retail businesses for many, many years, and we're inundated by SEO people claiming they know everything and they're going to, you know, rocket our business to the top. None of them know. None of them know. So micro steps. The goal, first goal, is to get them to open the email. So you want to be sending from personal email, and you want a short subject line. Now, once that's opened, second goal is to get them to watch the video, right? So you don't want to put a book there, hey, you know, and explain everything that's in your video. 2 short lines of text, right? I saw your truck at Home Depot. I do computer stuff, so I looked up your website and I found these 2 things that you can tweak real quick to improve your rankings. Check this out. Simple, like laid back, nothing salesy, no money mentioned, nothing else. And don't even talk about yourself for more than 5 seconds. Goal 3 now is to get a reply. Okay, so goal 1, get them to open the email. Once they're open the email, the second goal is to get them to watch the video. So short text that convinces them, hey, open the video. There's just 2 short things. Tweak these things, and you know your rankings are going to improve. This is what I do for a living. I'm just helping you out. Goal 3 is to get a reply. So the video should be short, to the point. Do not talk about yourself for more than 5 seconds total. People want to come in and they immediately want to start that video with, I am Brandon Olson. I run SEO3 Web Consulting. I've done it for the last 10 years. I've helped 276 clients get to the top of Google, and they've already left. They shut it off. They don't care. It's not about you. It's about them. So immediately go in and have that thing queued up to their homepage of their website. So when they click play, they're like, hey, my website's here. What's he saying? So then they're going to start listening. Micro steps. Yes, we want to get that client or that prospect, and we want to see them to the end where the first $1,000 is hitting our credit card processor, but we cannot do it on visit 1. We cannot do it on email 1, video 1. It'll take 10, 12 back and forths, sometimes before you even get a conversation started. At that point, they're going to realize you're so persistent. Maybe this guy does know what he's talking about. Maybe this girl does know what they're talking about. And then they'll start asking questions. Now you can get to those questions one by one, answer them. Don't bring up the money until they do. Don't even mention a price. And price is another thing I want to cover. My pricing has always been population-based. And some of you are probably in the accountability groups and have heard Ed with his pricing models, and his pricing models are insanely powerful. He doesn't leave a penny on the table because he interviews that prospect. He finds out how much the average client is over a year, whatever, all these figures, and he's got a little formula that works perfect for him. And if you want to do that, great, because it works, but it doesn't work for me. So that's the point. There's so many different ways to do things and determine price. Mine is fast, land a client, get them started, plug them in, let my team start, and I move to the next. I don't care if I've left a little money on the table, because 3 or 4 months in, if I only started a guy in a 250,000 population at $1,000 and he's a roofer, I know that once he starts seeing results and his phone's ringing off the hook and he's seeing his rankings shoot from page whatever to page 1 in a couple of months, then yeah, now he's starting to see money coming in from my efforts. Now I can always go back and say, okay, this is costing a bit. I know you're getting an ROI because I see you got three to four different keywords on page one, core competitive keywords. Let's bump this up. And I don't mind adding other keywords for you. And that's kind of the good thing about having Google Webmaster Tools or Search Console installed right in the beginning. Because once that thing runs for a while, and this is in, I think, Module 6 about content, putting massive content on, running a Google keyword report after a few months in, especially once you've started the campaign, you might start them with 5 or 6 keywords, but you can literally add dozens and dozens or even 100 more keywords to your SERP tracker or whatever rank tracking program you're using, and you're instantly going to see that they're not just ranked for these 5, 6 keywords you're working on. They're ranked for dozens, 10, 20, 30, 50, all, pages 1 through 3, 4. But now you can take those, sort them by impressions, and there's a video in there that teaches you how to do this. I'm not going to go into that. But generate the report, get the list of keywords, search them by impressions. So that means which ones are being displayed the most. Weed out the crap, because there's going to be stuff like on plumber sites that are having to do with restaurants and stuff that I don't know why it exists. Like these words are not even on my site. So delete that junk out. Put those keywords in your rank tracker. Now show your client, look, here's what we've been doing. We started with just a handful of keywords, but now suddenly you've got 24 ranked in the first 2 pages. Now we can take some of these and maybe do a keyword running through our Web 2.0. Make sure they're in the content for the biggest part. You can use them for anchors, but that's not really, the preferred method anymore to rank keywords. If they're in your content, especially if you've created new pages and you've done the meta and the H1 with those new keywords, they'll start ranking automatically because you've already got trust going to the home page. So that's kind of some things I wanted to cover. We'll open it up. I've got some more things, but I want to hear what you guys got to say. So what kind of questions are you guys running into? What do you want to?
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah, Maya.
Hello, Brandon.
How's it going?
Good. I have a question about on-page SEO. So the new training is great, but then I've sent my order to SEO Outsource. But there are a few things that I will have to do myself because they don't cover it unless it was already done on a website. And that's to install Google Analytics and submit a site map. And what else? Google, let me see, register the website with Google My Business. I don't know if that's the same thing. No, it's not.
No, okay.
So are these all important for SEO or not so much, or if you see what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Google My Business, 90% of my prospects already have a Google My Business place. If yours don't, have them do it. A lot of guys in the group like to do that and take control of somebody's Google My Business account. I'm not into that. It doesn't matter either way. You can. But it kind of is based on their email address, their company email address. So they get a permission or log in or whatever. It's so easy for them to just do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Get the postcard and verify it. As far as analytics and sitemap, those are just simple plugins normally on a WordPress site. I don't know how to walk you through it, but if you just post and tag Kevin.
Yeah. No. There are ways to do it. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. But they are relevant to SEO. Yeah.
Yeah, analytics has got some great data in there, so you can see, visitors real time, the keywords they're pulling to come into the site. So it's a lot of good data, that you may be able to share with the customer at some point. I don't really ever get technical with my clients unless they want to. So I'll have it installed. My team installs Google. I keep saying Google Webmaster Tools. It's now Search Console, and probably has been for you. Search Console and Analytics right up front in the beginning, so that any data that we need, we can get to at any point, rather than customer ask a question, And then
Exactly.
we can install analytics, and then we will have the information like 2 months from now when the thing crawls. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yeah, who's this?
This is Miriam.
Oh, hey, Miriam.
Hi. So I just joined today. Yay. So quick question about on-page SEO. You're talking about WordPress. I have a friend who's got is just starting a moving business, and his website is not on WordPress.
That's okay.
That's okay. All right. Good.
Yeah. So depending on what platform it is, some of the platforms will allow you to do quite a bit of on-page SEO. The most important things, obviously, are your meta tag, or your meta title, and your H1, because those are the ones that are going to match your anchor for your press release. If you can figure out how, just post in the group and tag Kevin. He knows practically how to do every platform. He is freaking insane. I'm so glad we brought him on the team. He has helped us through stuff that I didn't even know existed. So tag him, and he'll help you with that for sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hi, Brandon.
How's it going?
Good as Mason.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask about more in depth when you go on Search Console and you find a bunch of additional keywords that your client site has. How, like, so if you see a bunch of keywords, like, how do you determine what to put on the home page or what to build separate pages for? Or should you just build separate pages for each individual keyword that, you know, the client, for example, my client right now, I'm noticing has 300 pages or 300 keywords, and then I was only targeting, you know, like 5 or 10 of them. And then there's like 300 of them that's showing up on Webmaster on Search Console, and they're all around like position like 30 or something like that. How do you determine like what to, like, are they all, I noticed that, you know, in your training you briefly talked about building separate pages for all of them, but and blog posts for some of them, but some of them I feel like would be would need landing pages, and would you just put them on the home page? How do you determine those kinds of things?
Homepage is always dedicated to the either the brand, if you've got a multi-site client, or the primary 1 or 2 keywords.
Okay.
So never go back and tweak your homepage based on keywords you're finding in Google Webmaster Tools.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because then you'll start losing ranking for the main keywords, because you're telling Google this page is no longer about this, it's actually about this, and it's kind of a subtopic, which usually is what the keywords are that you're pulling out of there. I use them as extra landing pages, but I first sort them. So you're sorting them by impressions, so you're kind of getting rid of the stuff that is way down past page 9, and finding the ones like you're seeing around position 30 or whatever. So page 3, that's great. Delete out the junk, and then maybe copy those out and stick them in a spreadsheet and ask your client, are there any of these things you want to go for? You know, at that point, it sounds like you're kind of into the campaign at least a few months. To be able to get that kind of a report, unless the site's been up for a while and it's got some trust on it, some age.
The site actually, it's only been the 2nd month in the campaign. The site's been up for a couple months, but for some reason it's like, you know, popping up really well. So I'm really pleased about that.
Yeah. So as you're building landing pages too, you have to take that list of keywords and kind of group them together, because you can use 2, 3 keywords that are related, or even more if they're related, but you want to max it out at probably 2 kind of different keywords, but everything in that list that is kind of encompassed, or maybe it's a subtopic of that keyword, you can start using H2s and stagger your page out like that. I wouldn't have multiple keywords that are kind of different from each other. If they're similar, group them together on a landing page, and then make another set of landing page for the other group. So you've got your title H1 is your main keyword out of that 30. And then if there's 5 or so that are kind of related, plug them in there also, have the content written, and have H2s with those keywords. Google will find them and figure out what you're doing for sure.
Okay, and the keywords to use also, I noticed like some of them are local relevance and some of them are like don't have the locality region in there. So we should definitely use the local relevance as those
No, at that point you won't need it. Google already now knows what your local relevance is. So now for these other pages, you don't necessarily need cities in every one of your meta titles. You can have them sprinkled. It's not going to hurt. It doesn't hurt even if you've already done it, but it's not required. Once your homepage starts to get trust and Google knows what city you're in, and now you've got other H1s that are just the keywords. So then they know you're sitting in Plano and you've got roofing and you've got another one for roof repair and insurance claims. They don't have to be tied to Plano anymore because that is now under the hierarchy of what Google already knows your site's about. If they are, that's okay.
I see. Okay. And then in terms of anchor text from those inner pages to the homepage, is it important to have those specific keywords on that page being anchor text to the homepage?
That's debatable. I mean, I like to take and not anchor them all to the homepage, but anchor them to one of the pages on, the navigation bar or in your list of service pages. So you might have some linking to home because it logically links to home with whatever word you're using, or if it's keyword or whatever. But some of the other words in your article may make more sense to anchor to one of your service pages or one of your pages about roof repair or whatever. So they don't all have to go to the homepage, but the link juice flows a lot better and Google can crawl it a lot faster and get the results to you faster if they are linking to one of the core pages and also linking to another page. You want to interlink those two. So it's kind of like the spiders can crawl all over because you're leaving them paths all over the place.
That's super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Good question. Lewis, are you raising your hand?
Hey, how's it going? It's finally nice to hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Just wondering, I've gone to the course for about a week now, and I've done a lot of heavy weight here, and just wondering if there's a plan in place. Sorry, because I'm doing the screencasts and I'm trying to figure out how to handle a phone call. For instance, I could email back and forth. I'm pretty good with the screencast now. I've been trying to push those out, and I'm just worried about objections and maybe how to handle clients when they call in. Maybe start asking me a bunch of questions that I might get unfamiliar with.
Man, that's kind of, if they're calling you and you answer it and you don't let it go to voicemail,
right.
You're going to stumble through it until you figure it out. I used to always let them go to voicemail. Maybe they'll leave me a question and I've got some information I can research before I call them back. But soon enough, you get fluent with our language, and really the biggest thing is the SEO process, man. If you can watch that video or get the script or whatever, and if you can answer and avoid so many questions that you don't know that they're going to ask by just going over that. When they hear what you tell them is going to happen, no matter what niche, this is your process. This is how we rank sites on Google on demand. We literally will start and we'll interview and we'll look at your site and see, have a professional writer write about your business. We'll distribute that as a press release to 500 TV and radio and newspaper type of websites, and just tell them that. And that's massive. I mean, you're literally just walking them through what's going to happen. And then by the time you get to the end, they have no more questions. And usually they're just ready to start. But if they're asking other questions, it'll trigger stuff that you've gone over in the training, and soon enough, you'll get better and better, and you'll know even what they're going to ask before they ask it. But hey, there's there's no way to know what they're going to ask, and if you're going to be surprised at what they're asking or even know the answer. If you don't, so hey, I'm involved with a network of hundreds of other SEO guys, top elite guys across the country. Let me run it by them, and I'll find out what the best way to go is.
Would it be great point? Would it be helpful to ask them a few questions, kind of like, to get them?
I always do.
Maybe to find out where they're at in their company.
That's exactly right. And that changes the subject. That kind of shifts everything too. When they see that you're more interested in them and what they want for their business than you are to talk about the money end of it, that's massive to a business. When a guy's sitting there trying to figure out how to help me grow my business, and they're asking me, would you rather have more, residential clients or more commercial or, whatever, and you go through and figure out what they want to rank for, what they want to, more customers, what type they want. When you start getting into that, that really gets them to let their guard down too.
Okay. Now you've been very helpful. All right. And I'll DM you, or, I'll
right on.
Ask you for a few other questions later on, but thank you.
Louis, you got one? You got your hand up there. Unless that's just nothing. Okay, he's good. Soaking it in. Who else?
Hello, this is Dwight Norris.
Hey, Dwight.
Hey, I have a question. I've been getting a lot of video watches from my recent screencast from local and non-local people. And I'm wondering how I can go about following up with them, because I can walk to the local one and the others I can't. So I'm not sure what kind of strategy I should use. Okay,
so maybe I misunderstood the question. You made a video and put it on your YouTube channel and you're getting watches, or?
YouTube, yes.
Okay, so the people watching are not in your local area?
There's one company that's just a couple blocks from me, and there's two others that aren't close to me that I can't actually get to and speak to them face to face.
You have an internet business, so you're not confined by, and a lot of people have to get past this in their head sometimes, you're not confined by taking customers only where you live. I have had probably 5 customers from my city for SEO. Everything else I've got, all over the States, Australia, Canada, everywhere. So follow up by email is what I recommend. I don't normally call businesses and unless they really want a phone call, and then I will. I like everything back and forth in email, so I can remember when they reply. I can look at the strand and see what we talked about and keep going, because some prospects will carry on for a couple of months before you really get anything going with them. So you kind of build in your pipeline that way. But yeah, if you're getting views from other places, that's great. That's a kind of a technique that we want to add to the training to show you guys how to build a YouTube channel and promote it like that to get people coming to you. But you certainly don't have to be limited to have customers only where you're at. That's why I started this. I wanted a business that I wasn't tied to any geo-local area. I wasn't tied to an office. I wasn't tied to a time clock. And I could literally do and outsource every step of my SEO from my iPhone, from the Caribbean or Florida or Bahamas or wherever I was. And they don't know the difference.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Hey, Brandon, could I just not really ask a question, but just kind of address what Dwight just said, and maybe even Lewis?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm starting to use this more. I've been in for about a month and and a half now, but I'm starting to realize we have so much resources at our fingertips that, like with Dwight, with you getting a bunch of views, which is great. People would love. A lot of people are sending out screencasts. They're getting their emails to be open, but a lot are not necessarily getting the videos to be clicked on, right? So they would love the fact to have, like, even myself included, I've sent out probably about 35 to 40, and I have a lot of them have been open, but my but I think there's only been 3 that have actually been clicked on to actually watch the video. And I'm thinking, man, if they only could see the screencast, it would open them up. So I'm learning and wanting to get better at those first 2 or 3 lines to in my body of the email to get them to open. Like Brandon says, just little steps. You got to just tweak a couple of things, keep it simple to get them to open it. But for you, to what I was thinking, why couldn't you, as you've already getting a bunch of views coming onto your site, why couldn't you just send out a follow-up just like what you're doing right now, putting yourself on camera and just addressing the next stage in the SEO process? Like Brandon says in the videos, we address just the H1 and the meta title, right? The meta tag. And maybe number 2, you address the citations. Number 3, you address the not secure. Number 4, you just keep going down the line, addressing these certain things in the process. And then that's going to, first of all, give them value. They're going to see you. They're going to get familiar with who you are. And that's like more and more contacts with them, so that's like you're getting that much closer to closing them because you're having 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different touches with them, to where now they're going to be asking you, what's the price for your service, and so on, and you can just do it right there in front of your camera, right there where you're sitting at right now, without ever having to leave or ever having to pick up a phone.
Oh, thanks, Andre. I didn't think about that. Giving value is definitely one of the best things I can do. I think I will try to implement that with people that are actually viewing my videos.
Well, along with that too, on the search, in the like Brandon said earlier, when we first started the Zoom, in search, if you can just type in there, type in the search and asking, follow-up methods. That's what I'm going to do, follow-up methods. I'm sure a bunch of stuff will come up because people have addressed this in the past. That's my challenge, is basically a lot of the follow-up methods. I know I can do it. I'm not good at writing, but I'm just going to go in there and get a bunch of different ideas and put it out in front of the main group, because you'll have many different people come at you with their different angles, and you'll be able to pick and choose which works best for you.
Good stuff. Good point. So for those of you who are doing this, saving your screencast to your YouTube, it's a great idea. Be sure you build your banner, have a professional banner, have it done on Fiverr or something, or tag somebody in the group or post in the group. If you make a YouTube channel that's professional looking and it's got a link to your website in it, and it's got ways that you're using that as another platform, kind of like your web agency website, for people to contact you. So set it up as your business YouTube channel. And now all these videos that you're showing local business owners, look, you do the 30-30, you got 30 videos that you can plug in there. You can make playlists out of them. And people are going to start finding these, especially if you're using keywords that local business owners maybe are searching for in your title. Use it in your title and then the first line of your description, and it's going to help it come up the YouTube rankings. Another tip on tags for videos, and this works on anything. So I use RankDaddy Brandon, one word, as a tag in every single video. So when you see one of my videos, out to the side, you're also going to see suggested videos, and some of them are going to be mine. Because Google relates videos, like if a video plays, Google wants to immediately feed that watcher with something else that's related. So it doesn't know what's happening on the video. It only can go by text, right? Maybe at some point, or maybe they're working on it, I don't know, but tags are heavy, tags and hashtags. So if you use one keyword that nobody else in the world is using, so it's unique to your video, now suddenly all 30 of your videos are related. So if one's playing and you've got a business owner that happens to find one, that thing ends and Google is now suggesting another one of yours. So they're going to watch that. Now they're consuming all your content and they're going, wow, this guy actually knows something that can probably help my business. they click the little arrow down thing and they read the description. Make sure you got a clickable link in that description, https:// your website, so that it's clickable. And when you do it, go through and make sure it works and it redirects to your business. Can't tell you how many people have found my ways back to contact me from YouTube videos. We're still getting 5 or 6 joins a day to RankDaddy from people finding the videos, and it's the same concept. They're finding it. I make it easy for them to click, and they are able to find brandonolson.com where they can PM me and ask questions and then get in the group or just join. So it works the same way on SEO. And once the maps is all done out and finished, that's, I think, another one of the trainings we want to put up. I'm working with another person in the group who is really knowledgeable about YouTube and YouTube ranking. We'll probably make an add-on training for you guys to help you with that, because it's just one more way to get in front of people. Google owns YouTube, so you get a good YouTube video, it's going to show organically in page 1. I remember when I was really focused on trying to rank my agency website, I took up 8 spots of page 1. I took up 2 maps because I had 2 different addresses. One went to a post office, one was an actual business address. I had 2 websites, brandonolson.net and SEO3.com. That was when Google Plus was still up, so I had 2 Google Pluses. I had 2 YouTube videos, and it was plastering. Sadly, it's rare for business to start searching for local SEO and find people that way. So I kind of gave up, and I had some Web 2.0s ranked even on page 1. You can build Web 2.0 sites and point other Web 2.0 links at it, and those will start ranking. So there's a lot of little techniques that you can use to get yourself out there in front of people so that you just got better odds at landing clients. That's all it amounts to. But
Brandon, I just realized that you said I should have those public. I actually had those unlisted. I didn't think about that.
I put them on public. Now, if you get a business owner that says, I don't want that there, then yeah, put it on unlisted. But until then, you created that video. You're just using their site as an example. I've never had anybody tell me, take my video down. So kind of have to play that up. However you feel about that, do it. But if I'm creating instructional videos and I'm using stuff that's public information on the internet, I don't see anything wrong with putting them as public. It's already public. I'm just giving you tips. So something to think about. So why does a website rank at the top of Google? What has to happen for a website to rank?
Needs trust.
Yeah, trust. Ultimately, actual web traffic is the strongest trigger. So it would have taken trust to get it ranked to number 1, and now it's got the most amount of traffic. So this is why, as you go through your SEO campaign and you see that it's so easy to take people from non-existent or page 4, 5, 6, 7, even 3 to page 1 super fast, 30 to 60 days. Now when you're on page 1, the results got to trickle, because now you have to beat the people who have the actual web traffic. Web traffic coming to an actual website, people actually clicking on that and visiting the site, trumps all the other search criteria. So the more you put trust at it, trust will slowly overtake, because now you've got trust, you're on page 1, maybe you're at 6 or 8 or 7, and you're continuing to build trust with the process, but you're also starting to gain traffic. So now you've got multiple things. So Google and their algorithm has to determine at some point, okay, these guys are almost break even with traffic. Your site's a little bit more, but you've got a lot more trust signals. So pretty soon you're going to bump a guy off. So yes, a website ranks when it's trusted. So the end game is to get the traffic, but you have to go through the steps. So how do we get to the trust, right? The trust comes from the process. The trust it has to be built in a logical, methodical, natural way. It can't be gamed or anything like that with Google. We have so many people questioning whether to spend $1 to come into this program to learn because they're afraid that what we're teaching is, shady techniques. I don't know of any member, past or present, who's ever had a site slapped for, a Google penalty or something for doing stuff shady. So the process brings trust. The site ranks for the words on the site. So you're building trust. Google knows what it's about. Google is going to rank it because of the trust for the words that are on the site, and most importantly for the meta title and the H1. Those are the two major things that tell Google what you want to rank for, what the site's about. So many SEO guys are still under the misconception that a site ranks for the backlink anchors that are pointed to that site. So they're going out and they just massively build all these anchors that are Dallas plumber and Dallas roofer and whatever whatever niche they're in. It doesn't work like that anymore. Those are off-page signals, but if you have too many of those, it's obvious to Google what's going on. I mean, it's obvious to us. We can look at a backlink profile and see that a site has been SEO'd because it's not natural for 50% of all the links coming in to be the main keyword. That's obvious, what's going on. Extensive research has been done by my team, by other SEO guys in the business. 70 to 80% of all the links coming in need to be either your brand, so your company name, or a naked link, just the website, RankDaddy.com, whatever. The rest of that, so out of every 10 links, 7 or 8 of them have to be naked or branded. Google is so heavy on branding right now. Try to squeeze the brand in the title. If you have room for your one main keyword and your company name, separated by the bar, do that, because Google wants to start seeing brand mentions, especially as the map training comes out. You're going to see how important that is, and it's going to lend massively to the trust factors coming into your site. So your site does not rank for the backlinks or the anchor text. It's a massive flag if you just overdo that. So what else? What else questions?
Brandon.
Yeah, Maya.
In the training, Kevin mentions that if we type the URL of our website, we can find out if it comes up first in the searches. And with the website I'm working on right now, it's actually the website bookings.com that is first because, well, it's so big. So that tells me that they've got more pages or links?
Well, it's a massively trusted site.
Yeah.
But you can beat it.
I can.
It's there because nobody else has proven trust.
Mm-hmm.
And we do this all the time. I've done resort things. We had a huge campaign for some resorts out by Disney, and we were beating bookings.com, hotels.com, and all these other major things because guess what? Bookings.com is a search engine.
Okay.
Google doesn't want to give results to a search engine if they don't have to.
Sure.
You can't just be, you have to prove you need to be there.
Yeah.
The other thing is bookings.com homepage has a massive amount of trust.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But that result that's coming up is not the homepage. It's one of the landing pages to whatever property that is.
Sure. Yeah.
That has not as much trust. The top level domain has the trust, but that page doesn't. So you only have to beat the trust that's found on that page. It's very easy to do.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yep, I'll work on that.
Cool. What else? Stump me. Hey, there's a post in the group, and you've probably seen it. It's called, just use the search bar, bring on the objections. So I don't know, it's been months. I put it up there and I just said, hey, what are you guys running into, as you're prospecting? And so there's probably 20 objections up there that me and some other guys have responded with what we actually say when that objection comes up. So look for that. Prospecting is the main thing. I mean, the process works. That's not a question. It's a matter of, okay, now we got to get clients so we can just plug them in and make money and scale. So if we get good at prospecting and landing clients, the rest is game over, because it's literally just plug them into the system. And if you're new, you do it by yourself. In 30 minutes, you're done with the whole month's work for one client. You move on to the next one. Once you've got 10, 12, 15 clients, now you can start looking at hiring VAs and kind of sculpting and forming your team, posting in Upwork for maybe SEO assistants and things like that, and give them tasks and test them out. And this is how I got my VA, Saqib, in the group that you guys have seen post or reply every once in a while. I'll tag him. He's been with me for over 7 years. He started at $2 an hour. He's in Pakistan. He now runs a team, and we have offices in Pakistan on the ground floor of the, I forget what building. But he bought a house, a car. He's got to be one of the highest paid guys in Pakistan. But he runs a whole team there, and he just started at $2 an hour with me on Upwork, and I give him more and more responsibility. So it's real easy to do the steps in the beginning because it doesn't take much time. Just focus on mastering and just as much as you can immerse yourself on prospecting, even if it's taking other little courses, or get on udemy.com for prospecting, or other YouTube videos. There's a lot of training on sales and closing, and the more stuff that goes in your brain, the more that you'll be able to use when it comes time to land a client. Even though not that you're using high pressure sales tactics, but if you know how to deal with a client or prospect and how to walk them through the steps of a close so that they don't feel like you're trying to get them to sign their life away, it just gets easier and easier. I really, really like the video, and I might need to redo it because I think could be a little more clear. I think it's either 4 or 5. The 5 closes that are my go-to closes. The guarantee, man, I can't even remember. I might have to pull it up, but you know what I'm talking about. It's on the blog, episode 4 or 5. What else? Any other questions?
Yeah, I had another question about the objections post. I read it and I thought it was so good that I created a Word document with all the answers, and I uploaded it. It's in the
cool.
Yeah, it's in the group. It's on the resources. Everybody can have a look at it.
Files of the Facebook group?
Files. That's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah, because they were really good, and you know how we sort of try to get them in and explain that we need 2 months for the site to reach page 1. So at first, I'm trying to get them to try my services, and once we get to those 2 months, I know they're going to ask, so tell me again, why do I need to keep paying for SEO now? So I'm thinking one of the ways would be, once we've had a look at the competition and we've seen how many pages they have, how much more content and backlinks, I would say, well, so that we build up, and we beat your competition.
So first, when you say, and you're probably not using this, but it's maybe just how I heard it, it's going to take you take us 2 months to get to page 1. I wouldn't quote that, because sometimes it's slower. I mean, we've got some clients that you have to just dig because they get stuck and their site doesn't move past page 2 or 3 for some reason for months. Mm-hmm. There could be little things on their site that Kevin will find. Anyway, that can happen, and when it does, you got to know what to say, right? So I always, to kind of prevent or plant a seed in their mind in the beginning, not necessarily when I'm landed it, but maybe after I send them the first report after it's been a month, I want to make sure they know how I'm doing this. I'm not going to use the word PBN, but I want them to know that it's not necessarily hard work that's doing this. they need to know that their site is being trusted, that we're building, and everything we do is to bring trust to their site.
Mm-hmm.
We own and maintain a network of sites that have a massive amount of trust with Google.
Mm-hmm.
And I explain this to them so that they know, because if this ever comes up, I'm coming back to that. And I say, when they say, okay, well, I've been on page 1 for 6 months. Why do I got to keep paying you?
Right. Yeah, that's it.
So remember when we first started the campaign, I kind of explained how we rank and hold your site there.
Mm-hmm.
We're using that network of sites of ours. They're very expensive to maintain. We add content to them. On different hosting that not your average, GoDaddy hosting, things like that. They cost a lot of money to build and to maintain. We only use those sites for you. We don't use one site and link to multiple people. That's dedicated to you. So for all the links that come out to those sites, that's hard cost for us monthly. Your SEO fee is offsetting that. If you stop paying, so also I've already told them that one link is like we give you 1,000 links all at once. So if we're 6 months in and they got 10 links coming out from these trusted, powerful sites that we've got, I ask them, what is it going to look like if you stop paying and we delete your anchors or your links because we have to use them for another client that is paying to offset? What happened? What's Google going to see? They're going to see thousands of links leaving your site. Is going to do what? And you get them to thinking, they're like, oh yeah, no, don't, okay, that's not going to go there. Plus, I say, I mean, you're paying me $1,000 a month. You're getting an extra 10 grand in revenue or whatever it is. Before. You really want, when do you stop that? So there's different ways to do it without threatening them. I like the reminder thing, but in order to do the reminder, you have to have already kind of explain to them how you're doing it. So, and I never use the word PBN because they may start looking it up. There's so much bad press on PBNs.
Oh, I see.
They're dangerous. I mean, PBNs are dangerous if you don't know how to do it properly. Screw somebody's site up. So, yeah, good question.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Some of these questions, and I'm glad we're doing these Zooms because it's so much more effective to hear an explained answer than read it in a post comment. And it's hard for me to kind of get all those words in that comment and make them make sense. So glad you guys are here. So anything else? We're going to wrap it up.
Quick question, if it's all right. It's Miriam.
Okay.
It's sort of a sales question, sort of. I recently spoke to somebody who right off the bat told me he was window shopping. I just talking to a few different people, and that's fine with me. He and I are in another group together, and I thought, okay, well, let's just spend some time getting to know his business, asked him a lot of questions, gave him a lot of general pointers. And then he said, well, send me a proposal after I went through in detail, like steps and blah, blah, blah. And at that point, yeah, okay, I could send him a proposal, but my gut reaction is like, nah, I don't want to send proposals. So I'm just wondering, in the training, do you cover that? I mean, to me, I don't want to work with somebody who's like, I got to think about it again. It's like, we already went through your entire financials. You know that this is the only way you can do this, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So,
do you cover that?
Yeah. I've never, ever sent a proposal. I've never sent a contract in writing. I am as simple as, okay, it's all back and forth. I'm answering your questions. You're asking. At some point, you're going to ask price. I'm going to tell you how much it is. I'm going to tell you what we do. I'm going to tell you what the SEO process is. And that's it. And as soon as you say, yeah, okay, let's do it, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to send you an invoice, fill out this form, which is my intake form, and I'll send you an invoice and we'll get started. That's it. I mean, it's all by email anyway. If you want to read what we're doing, it's in the email. You don't need a form. I don't do formal proposals. I just tell them. There's no point because I'm not making you sign a contract. You can literally stop whenever you want. I want them to feel like they always have a way out.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that would have been another question. So that's great. So no contracts, just
I don't.
Month.
The only time I ever did a contract, we had a statewide insurance deal. I was partnering with a guy in Florida, and they required it. So I made him do it, and We did it.
Okay.
But all these $1,000 a month deals are all no contract, stop whenever you want, because I want them to feel like they have no pressure and they're not locked into something.
Yeah.
They just need that. And
Yeah.
even though we're giving them that, we still remain in control because our network of incredibly powerful sites are holding their rank to the top. And once they're in month 2, 3, they're already seeing the rankings launch to the top. Now they're starting to see customers from our efforts, and that's why we've got such a 90% retention rate, because it works. It sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Good question. So I was talking to my brother the other day. He's in the group. We were talking about business, and this is going to apply to a lot of people in the group because we have such a diverse group here. And it's about branding yourself and not compromising and bending or folding or getting forced into a mold that you think that some business needs you to be or act or dress or live in a certain place. He's from Arkansas, and he has this good old boy accent, and he's like, I just want clients that the type of client that I can go and we can have a beer after work. And that's the type of clients he's attracting, right? So there are millions of businesses across America that want to deal with that kind of a person. If you're that kind of a person, great. Don't think you have to change to fit in the SEO mold, right? The SEO agency mold. Maybe you live in another country. Maybe you have a thick accent. Maybe your hair's long, or maybe you're like me and 90% of the year you wear shorts and flip-flops. If a business owner is not okay with that, that's okay. There's more businesses to catch. I guarantee you there's millions of businesses that are okay because I still know enough to 10x their business while I'm wearing my shorts and flip-flops and doing all this from my iPhone. So don't think you have to fit into a mold, right? So brand yourself. You look at the RankDaddy logo, that's me, right? Shorts and flip-flops. I've gone to meetings like this and met clients in this and landed them. It doesn't matter. If they have a problem with it, they're not going to sign up, and that's great. You move on to somebody else. But just knowing that you can be whoever you are and do this business is a great feeling to me. So last thing I wanted to cover, LeBron James recently broke Michael Jordan's record, right? I don't know a lot of the whole stats and everything, but this is about modeling someone or something that is successful if you're trying to reach that level of success. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. There's no reason to try to figure it out on your own. If you want to be successful at something, the fastest way, and Tony Robbins says this, is to find somebody who's already done it and model exactly what they did. So LeBron, as a child, would buy packs and packs of basketball cards, hoping for a Jordan. He would study every aspect of Jordan's game, down to the way he wore his calf sleeve and turned it inside out so that the red lining showed. He studied and imitated, drew profound inspiration from his tongue wag, and I'm reading this from an article that I read because it was so cool. His tongue wagging dunks, his fadeaway jumper, his competitive fire, and the little details of the way Jordan wear his sneakers and shorts. So LeBron, he admits he didn't think he could be like Mike, but yet he modeled him. Does that mean you don't have to put in the work? No, because he worked his butt off. And same with your SEO agency, you have to put in the work, even though you've got a system that you can plug into and model exactly to get the results that so many in the group that are finding success have done. But don't veer. There's no reason to make a step 3.5 and plug it in because you think it should go there. It doesn't need it. We've done this on thousands and thousands of sites already. It works. So follow the model. That's it for today, guys. We're a little over an hour, so we're going to cut it there. I appreciate you guys. If you found value in any of this, go to one of my YouTube videos and leave a comment like Andre and a lot of these other guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm humbled at all of this. Love the group. I love the interaction, the engagement. Let's keep building, keep leaning on each other. We'll get there. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks, Brandon.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
Have a good one, guys.